What's up, everybody? All right, traders, welcome to the weekly outlook. If you are watching this recording, if you're watching this recorded and not live, go ahead and skip in about 5 minutes. Just waiting for some people to hop on before we jump in. What's up, traders? We have a big week ahead. Hope you guys had a good weekend. Really excited to jump into the charts. How was everybody's weekend? All right, guys. Got some more people hopping in. Not going to take up too much of your guys' time tonight, but I am going to give everybody a couple minutes to hop in. Nick, good to see you. Hope you had a good weekend as well. Belen, very good to see you as well. I'm doing great. I had an awesome weekend. Hope you guys are doing well. Good evening, Brax, to you. Michael, good to see you. Francisco says long weekend in Sydney. Oof, it must be. I'm assuming it's probably hot over there in Sydney. I know about this time last year I was in Gold Coast, Australia, and holy cow, it gets pretty hot. Stephanie, good to see you. IUQ 2002 says the guru is on. Yes, I am on. Ready to drop some value and some nuggets. All right, guys, about 2 minutes or so and we'll get started. If you are watching this right now and you do not have something to take notes with, you have about 2 minutes. Definitely grab something to take some notes with. Grab a glass of water, use the bathroom, put the kids to sleep, whatever you got to do to make sure that you can stay focused and get some, and I can have some undivided attention for like the next 30 minutes or so. Gonna make sure that I give a lot of value on today's webinar, guys. Brack says, I'm ready for the 80s here in Arizona already. You know, I've been in Tempe been settled in my new place for about 3 weeks now. And, you know, it has been some awesome, awesome weather. I've just kept like my back door open, letting a nice breeze come through. Definitely not looking forward to the Arizona heat this summer. Going to be pretty gnarly, but I don't spend too much time. I try not to spend too much time in Arizona during the summertime. All right, guys, lots of people are on. Invite your guys' friends. If you got, you know, friends, family, brother, sister, neighbors, anybody that you know that trades, share the link with them, share the value, guys. I promise to share a ton of value on today's webinar. I'm going to give you guys some really good setups to be looking at. I'm going to show you a couple of the trades that I'm currently in and the targets that I'm looking at. That'll give you maybe some opportunities to follow along with these trades. Yes, lots of economic news this week. A ton. That's what we're actually going to be starting off with talking about. So, guys, about 30 seconds and we will get started. Again, if you are watching this and you do not have something to take some notes with, please make sure you do. A whiteboard, something at the very least. All right, guys, well, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to our weekly webinar. This is the weekly outlook for the last week in January. So we have our last couple days of January, and then we're going to be headed into a new month. And I don't know about you guys, but this year is flying by. It feels like it just turned to 2019 and we're already moving into the second month. It's pretty crazy, and this year is just going to keep moving faster. So I hope that you guys are crushing your goals. I hope whatever resolutions or goals you set a month ago, you are still sticking with that and you are still, working on those goals. It's so easy to become complacent and, give up on your goals a lot, very easy at the beginning of the year. So, biggest thing is make sure you guys are staying focused. But for those of you guys that are here for your first time, thank you for joining me for this webinar. My name is David Schinkel. I'm the CEO and founder of Positive Traders. And if you subscribe to my channel, you'll be notified every single Sunday. You can join me live where I do this and I go over the markets for you and give you some opinions. With that being said, just keep in mind that anything you guys hear on these webinars is not investment or financial advice. It's everything I say is just for educational, informational, entertainment purposes only. But I'm glad to have you guys here. I'm going to give you guys a lot of value on today's webinar. Like I said before I started recording, please make sure you have something to take some notes with. I'm going to go through things very quickly today. I'm not going to spend a ton of your guys' time. But I am going to be very valuable. I'm going to drop some information on pairs that I'm looking at, why I'm looking at them, and some other things. But without further ado, let's just jump straight into things, guys. I don't really have too many announcements right now. There's some big things cooking up in the works. That's all I can tell you that with Positive Traders. There's some things that are going to blow Positive Traders up. But I also do just want to say very quickly, if you are watching this, whether you're watching this live, especially if you're watching this live right now, or even if you're just watching the recording, please do me a favor and smash that like button and subscribe if you aren't already subscribed. When you like this, the YouTube algorithm is able to put this in front of other people that like investing stuff, and I'm sure you guys are here because you find this information valuable. So why not put this in front of as many people as possible? But let's jump into things, guys. So to first look at the economic calendar for the week, this is what I want to do before we jump into the technicals as usual. So a couple of things to point out. There's also some things that are not on the calendar. So first and foremost, before we jump in and look at specific dates, I just want to address the issue with the U.S. government. So President Trump has reopened the government temporarily. The government is set to be open at least until now, until February 15th. So there is the government reopened, and what that means for us as Forex traders is that means that we can probably expect to see a ton of news that has been withheld, a bunch of data that has been withheld and hasn't been able to be released because there's been nobody working these data-related jobs since the government was shut down. So all I want you to take a note of is that what the economic calendar looks like right now, it can definitely change. There might be some more US dollar things that pop up throughout the week, okay? I also want to say, if you're watching this live right now, you have the opportunity to ask me any questions. So if you have any questions while I'm going through this, feel free to put them in the chat and I will answer them for you. That's the advantage of being here live. But a couple things to point out. So there's something on Tuesday that is actually not on the calendar yet. I don't know why it's not on here right now, but there is another Brexit vote scheduled for this Tuesday, the 29th. So if you're trading the pound, expect the pound to get pretty volatile on Tuesday. Hopefully sometime soon they throw it on the economic calendar so other traders can see that. But if you look at like other news sources, like it's talked about on Bloomberg and a lot of other big news sources, that there is it's been expected, there's a Brexit vote coming out on January 29th. So Miss May is going to once again see if she can get something passed through Parliament and, secure this exit from the European Union. So we'll see what happens with that. There's some other red folders this week. I'm not trying to discredit or, make them feel any less important. It's just, of course, on this weekly outlook, I'm not going to sit here and talk about every single little thing that comes out, So we've got Mario Draghi speaking on Monday. We've got another Mr. Carney speaking from the Bank of England speaking Monday as well. So some pretty prevalent central bank speakers talking. We have consumer confidence coming out for the U.S. dollar Tuesday. Also for the U.S. dollar on Friday, we have non-farm payrolls. So this is a very crazy week. Not only that, but Wednesday we have a federal funds rate. So we have an interest rate decision coming out from the Fed on Wednesday. They aren't going to be raising interest rates again, but they will be talking about when they plan on raising interest rates. I expect it to be pretty dovish for the US dollar, considering that they're talking about easing on the hikes. Another thing also that isn't on the calendar for whatever reason right now, well, it was on the calendar and then it was removed. So be very careful. Make sure you're watching the calendar on a pretty regular basis, on a daily basis to watch for this. But there was some GDP for the US dollar expected to be coming out Wednesday. And if you are not familiar with GDP, okay, gross domestic product is it is like pretty much one of the biggest leading indicators of economic health in the US. You know, GDP is pretty much growth, is economic growth in the U.S. It's right up there with looking at something like non-farm payrolls or even interest rate decisions. It sets the precedent for commercial investors and institutional traders to take positions in the market and central banks to move money in and out, with other central banks to buy the U.S. dollar or sell the U.S. dollar, which ultimately results in the moves in the market. So lots of stuff coming out. There's some CPI on Tuesday for the Australian dollar. There's some GDP for CAD. This is actually going to affect. I'm in a trade with the USD CAD right now. I'm up about 150 pips on this trade. We're going to look at that in just a moment. So there's that. We have some average hourly earnings coming out for the US dollar on Friday. And just to be like ultra transparent with you guys, I don't know if you guys can see it on here, but these are a couple of the trades that I'm in right now. So hopefully, I don't know, I'm going to move the screen down just a little bit because I think OBS cuts it off. Hopefully you guys can see at the top, this is live, right? This is not a screenshot. This is actually MetaTrader 4 because you can see the price is moving. You can see the charts are moving. You can see the balance of the account. You can see the profit that I'm in. So, a lot of people aren't going to show you their real accounts. They aren't going to show you their live accounts with real profits in the real markets. Like if you can see on the 1 minute chart, you can see price moving, you can see it moving. So this is a real chart, not a screenshot. So guys, this is real trading. Okay, these are some of the trades that I'm in right now. So I'm in a trade on USD Swiss franc, and I'm in a trade on USD CAD that I'm risk free. I got this really nice wick entry on Friday. Me and all my students, we entered this trade. So we're going to look at this on TradingView, but just wanted to add some transparency for you guys because it's not every single week that I have carry trades, right? Not every single week that I'm carrying trades from one week to the next. So that's just an opportunity. But I do want to address some of these trades, and then we'll jump into maybe some other setups to look at for this week. Okay. So I want to look at USD CAD just to give you guys an idea. So you won't see this. This is a locked. You can see the little lock symbol right here. If you go onto my TradingView, you aren't going to see this. I didn't share this publicly. This is something that I shared with my students only. But I was expecting oil to still have some demand. We're going to look at oil in just a moment. It's definitely been retracing the almost 45% decrease in value it saw over like I think about a 10-week period at the end of last year. So I'm still expecting oil to bounce. So we took a sell on USD CAD, or I took a sell on USD CAD at the end of last week. Got a really, really nice entry on it. We can see that daily candle just absolutely tanked on USD CAD. And I'm expecting this to go. You guys can see that my targets are at 129.05. And this is something that I've been telling you guys. I told you guys if you watched, this is why those of you that are here watching this, obviously it's not you guys that are being lazy, but maybe some of you guys, this is your first time watching it because you're finally getting the picture. You're finally getting that I need to put in the time and be committed to these weekly outlooks. But guys, if you were on last week's outlook and you paid attention, I specifically gave out price targets. I said I'm looking at selling USD CAD at some point, and I said I'm going to be targeting 129. So there was a lot of technical indicators, a lot of conviction for taking this trade. You can actually see just one little conviction here. We had a nice rejection 3 days in a row off of the 38.2% retracement level. There are some other things that we threw in there that I talked about on my daily webinars with my students, but of course I don't have all the time to go into that, okay? But just know that my long-term target on USD CAD is 129, right? So if you haven't gone in, I'm not just saying, And that's one big thing, guys, on these outlooks, is this is not investment advice. I'm not saying that, boom, just sell in and buy my word, I move the market and it's going to drop. No, that's not the case, right? I'm break even at this point, right? So I'm not necessarily saying that it's the best time to get into the market. I'm just trying to make a point that if you're paying attention to these weekly outlooks, that there is definitely opportunity, even though, because I'm not about like handing out, guys. I hand out a lot of things to my students because they obviously are paid to be a student of mine, so they're deserving of getting something hand-fed to them, right? But if you're just like watching these for free and take, that's fine, but understand that I am not a handout kind of person. I am here to develop you as a trader and tone your skill set. Only way you're going to do that is if you just actually pay attention. There's so many effing traders out there online that claim to be some guru, right? They flipped an account after being 3 months in Forex, and now, they sell a course and they're the best trader in the world. Guys, I've been doing this. I'm going on my 6th year in the business. Some of you guys that have been, not in the business, in the trading side, I'm only in my 3rd year of business. Some of you guys that have been following Positive Traders from the beginning, from May 2016 when I started Positive Traders, I had already been trading for almost 3 years before that point, okay? So you guys have to understand that Forex is a grind, right? You need to put in that time. You need to put in that sweat equity to get good. You get better and you sharpen your skills over time. So I'm telling you right now, and just kind of like how I went on a rant on Friday in Telegram, that if you're following 50 different Telegram groups and you're just taking a trade here, taking a trade there, and you don't even know who's giving out the trade and you're just taking it because it's a free trade, you're going to fail flat on your face. You're going to fall flat on your face and you're going to fail. It's just the way it is. It's because Forex is not just like built for everybody, guys. You don't know who you're getting these signals from. You don't know if they're qualified. You don't know what type of profits they're doing. They don't have any sort of track record. So if you're in Forex for the emotional aspect and that hype and, right when the market opens, you're like, oh, I need to get in a trade right now. You need to learn to discipline your emotions, okay? Disciplining your emotions is going to be your biggest asset as a trader long term. You need to be able to discipline yourself, discipline your emotions, and just, be careful, weed out who you learn from and just have a very strong mindset, okay? Because it's not difficult if you are conscious, if you're consciously aware and you're very conscientious about your own learning, about your own journey, right? It's all about what you put in front of you, right? How you do anything is how you do everything, right? It all goes down to the knowledge you're consuming, the information you're consuming, who you're consuming it from. So, I'm not trying to sit here and say that I'm the best trader in the world and you should just be following me, but I'm just trying to say that you should just be very careful and filter very carefully who you learn from, because there's a lot of people out there will market Forex, but not a lot of people that are going to go on live on YouTube on a Sunday and show you a live over 6-figure account with real profits in the markets using very low risk, guys. Those trades are 1 to 2. I'm risk-free on USD CAD, so there's no more risk. I had a 2% risk of my account on both trades. But I'll pull it up again. Look, I'll just show you. This is the stop loss right here, right? Watch, let's like zoom in so you guys can actually see, or zoom out. Look, it's a 4.92 lot size. Some of you guys might be saying that's a crazy lot size. If I hover over this, I have $2,711 at risk, right? Look at my account balance. It's 2% of my account. It's a $136,000 account. Okay, so I use good risk management. I'm risking 2% of my account. If this hits my take profit, I'm going to make $5,900. So I'm going to make like about 4%, a little bit less than 4% on my account. If USD CAD is now risk-free, there's zero risk on this. I'm going to continue to trail my stop loss as it moves deeper and deeper into profit. But if this hits my take profit, I'm going to make $12,861, which is, I don't know, something like 6% or 8% of my account. I'm not thinking with the math exact. Actually, more than 8%, something like that. I don't know exactly. I'm not worried about the percentage right now, like to a T. I just know what it is estimated. We can look right here. 4.74 times 2, right? That's like a 9.5%. It's about 9.5% that I'll make on my account based on the risk-reward ratio, okay? So, and then USD Swiss franc, 2% risk. So I'll make like 4.36% on my account, basically, if this hits my take profit, okay? So let's go over USD Swiss franc very quickly, okay? USD Swiss franc, I'm expecting USD Swiss franc to continue to fall. And let me just give you guys an example. I mean, guys, I've been predicting USD Swiss franc for a while. Some of you guys remember I gave out this free trade in Telegram, and this goes back to exactly what I'm saying. Like, stop focusing on all the damn groups out there. Focus on some people that are legitimately doing it. I posted this for free in public, right? You don't see a little lock right here. This is a free trade that I gave out. It was viewed 228 times, and you can see, where did I expect price to go? Back on November 22nd, 2018. Boom. Went right down to a T, to the pip of exactly where I wanted it to go, and now I'm catching this again to the downside. Okay, guys, I'm not trying to boast or brag or sound arrogant, but I feel very confident in the markets because I have put in the time and I have learned this skill set, okay? And I consider myself a professional when it comes to trading. Am I a master? No, I think I'm always a student of the game. I still humble myself, and I still think that there's always things that I can learn. There's literally things that I learn on a monthly, weekly basis that make me and continue to make me a better trader year over year. But at the end of the day, I still consider myself a professional because I am profitable at the end of the day. And that's what matters, right? I'm in the markets to make profits, right? I'm not here to break even. I'm not here to lose money. I'm here to, break even is okay, but as long as long term I'm making profit, that's the only way I'm going to make a living. So those are these two trades, right? USD Swiss franc. And you can see USD Swiss franc, I'm not in a ton of profit in, right? I'm not 100, USD CAD right now, I'm like 100 and almost 150 pips in profit, right? We can measure this guy like 140 pips in profit on this, right? So that ship has sailed. As far as USD Swiss franc, I'm about 20 pips in profit right now. So there's still some opportunity. I still, again, guys, remember, this is just my trade, my thing. This is not financial investment advice. I'm not even saying to follow me on these trades. I'm just showing you what I'm doing and offering ultimate transparency on what I do and how I do it, okay? So let's go ahead and get to the dollar index. So I told you guys on the dollar index last week, right? I told you guys on the dollar index, and I know some of you guys probably laughed, especially come Friday when there was this big bullish candle. I know a lot of people were in my inbox saying, you suck at trading. Dollar index isn't bearish. It's so bullish. You don't even know what you're doing. Well, I mean, who's laughing now? Because, and I don't even want to sound like that, guys, but I mean, it's the truth. Like I have a lot of people that want to give me shit for the way I trade or for, my outlooks and things like that. And I also appreciate, I have so many supporters. You guys support me like crazy. I can't even thank you guys enough for being here and being on these webinars. But, again, it just goes back to what I said. Be very careful and be, filter yourself of who you're listening to and where you're getting your information from. But USD, the dollar index, I'm expecting it to definitely do something like this, and something along the lines of that, okay? So something along the lines of that. Now, I do recognize on the dollar index, and everybody's been talking about this for literally like months now. And I'm not even exaggerating when I say months. Like, everybody's been talking about this for months. And this is why everybody's been giving me shit. Everybody's like, David, don't you see that inverted head and shoulders? You're a dumbass for wanting to short the dollar. Well, I mean, who's the dumbass now, right? Like, it's really like as simple as that. The dollar index is bearish for right now. What did I put up here? Look at this. Let's just look at this. Dollar index weakness coming. This is November of last year. November of last year, I called the US dollar weakness, right? I said, dollar weakness is coming. Boom. Where are we now, right? It's not like it's plummeted, but is it lower? Is it weaker than where I called on November 22nd? Absolutely, okay? So this inverted head and shoulders that we can see, which is the normal head and shoulders that we see on Euro USD that we're going to look at in just a moment. There's still a possibility that these could work out and dollar index is bullish, and I'm still long-term bullish on the dollar and do think at some point, if and when this this head and shoulders breaks the neckline, we're going to see a bullish dollar, but not yet, okay? So we're very, very bearish on this. Gold. It's so funny. I'm not going to try to sound like I'm a know-it-all or anything like that. There was a point yesterday, especially with my students on the daily webinars, where I thought that there was a possible scenario where gold can come back down to 1250, okay? However, as I've been saying long-term with my long-term outlook, I think gold, and write it down right now, there's almost 50 of you guys watching this right now, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, write it down on your notes. Gold this year will break the multi-year highs around 1365, 1370, and it's going to have no problem getting to the 1400, 1500, 1600 range this year, okay? Commodities are going to do very well this year, okay? Emerging markets are going to do very well this year. Emerging markets and commodities, I think are gonna do. I mean, well, and let me just say this, right? Just to be very like pedantic about what I'm saying, gold technically is not a commodity, right? I just kind of call it a commodity because that's the way I view it. It's a metal at the end of the day. Okay, it's not really an asset. It's not really a commodity. It's not like oil or anything like that, but it's a metal, but regardless, I expect gold to continue to rise. And we can see Friday it broke 1300. Very good chance we're going to see a bullish run, another bullish run on gold, and continue this uptrend that it's been in since late September of last year. Those of you guys that have been following along, we got in a buy on gold literally right here, right before it spiked up, like around 1193, and I'm sorry, 1183 was our, no, 1193 I think, or 1183 it might have been. I forget. We got in and we had no drawdown. That was the beautiful part. We took our profits a little bit early. Little did we know it was going to run all the way up to 1300, right? Definitely a woulda, coulda, shoulda moment, but you know, you don't want to live in hindsight, right? If you become like a hindsight trader, living in the past, always thinking woulda, coulda, shoulda, you're gonna have a very, very hard time trading, right? Your mentality is just gonna eat your profits away by emotional trading. So you just gotta move on, right? I don't cry about, we took our profits on gold all the way down here at 1222, right? We missed about a $75 a buy, but you know, it is what it is. We made so much more profits on so many other things. Go look at my track record for the end of last year, right? We finished December 6% growth. Right now, I'm floating at like 4% growth for the year, or for the year so far. This is the first month in January, so I am doing just fine by all means, okay? Euro USD, you know, what's really very interesting is if you guys watched my weekly outlook last week, I said the next price target that we were most likely going to see was 1300, and I actually had marked off something that looked just like this. I said it going down to 1300 and then a big spike up. So this is what I'm looking for now, okay? I'm looking for that mark up phase in Euro USD, okay? There's definitely a couple hundred pips to be made on Euro USD, right? To me, I'm taking like the correlation trade, right? I'm going to sell on USD Swiss franc and I'm going to sell on USD CAD, right? Both of which have negative correlations to Euro USD, right? Positive correlations to the dollar index, right? So we're seeing the US dollar weaken a little bit right now, or maybe not the US dollar weaken, but at least the dollar index weaken, okay? And that's something to be very, that's something that I want to be a little pedantic about with the dollar indexes, right? Is the dollar index, and I've said this before, this might like be a little bit hard for maybe some of you guys to wrap your head around, but indexes are not real, right? At the end of the day, like this chart is made up, right? There's no tangibility with this chart, right? An index is just that. It's an index. It's a weighted measure. It's a weighted index. Okay, it's a measurement. It's a bunch of different currencies that all have different weights, right? And this the reason why the dollar index and Euro USD do the exact negative of each other is because the euro, okay, the European dollar makes up 57% of the weight on the dollar index, right? And then there's 5 other currencies that add to that weight. But obviously, if the euro makes up over half of that weight, then obviously they're going to have a complete inverse correlation. So that means when Euro USD goes up like it is right now, dollar index goes down and vice versa, okay? So that's Euro USD, that's USD Swiss franc. Let's talk about some more trades. Pound dollar, again, this is kind of like a hindsight thing, but it's like one of those things where, you know, you should be paying attention because I've been telling you guys since 2 weeks ago that I was bullish from a technical standpoint, bullish on pound dollar, right? The week, not last week, but the week before last, even when there was the Brexit vote, and even when it was projected to be rejected, just like it's most likely going to be rejected this week as well. That doesn't mean that the pound is going to crash, right? I see so many gurus, quote unquote gurus on social media that are like, oh, they see a rejection expected for a Brexit vote, so I'm just going to short the pound. Well, how well did that work out for you if you shorted the pound, right? How well did a short on that Brexit vote work out? Because you know what's funny is the Brexit vote actually happened all the way down here. There was literally zero negative impact to this pair because of a rejection from the pound, right? If anything, this 4-hour candle that we see right here, this big blue bullish 4-hour candle, that was the rejection. Okay, that was the rejection. That was what was expected if you watch my weekly outlook on the Sunday before the Brexit vote. So not last week's, but the week before last, I called that. Okay, if anybody wants to fact check me on that, you are more than welcome to, okay? I love the technicals, right? I love the technicals. You know, I was talking to Louis about this recently that, you know, and some of you guys that have been trading for a while, when I say a while, I'm talking like a couple of years now. This is something that it's almost like a coincidence. And I say coincidence because there's obviously a reason behind it. But you ever notice that like a technical move just somehow magically there's always some sort of fundamental thing that comes out that is that supports that technical move? You know, it's almost interesting, right? And I almost say that in like a sarcastic way because it's just the way the markets are, right? I love the technicals. Okay, that's the way I have made a fortune in trading is by. I mean, I haven't made a fortune. I haven't made millions of dollars. Right? I don't claim to be a millionaire. Be making a 7-figure income for trading, but I do very very well for myself. I do make a very well 7-figure income through trading, but it's nothing super crazy, right? I have to grow my account and obviously the biggest growth for me personally has been becoming a prop trader, right? Working for a proprietary trading firm and being able to get funding from other people and leverage, you know, a firm's account, a firm's money, and then also being able to leverage my clients' money, right? And taking a percentage of the profits that I make people. And, you know, that's the way as a Forex trader, I think most people should build their biggest wealth, right? Build up a clientele, work for a prop firm, right? Because if you're listening to this right now, and you don't have thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, well, you know, it's going to be very difficult to make a very big income through trading without risking a lot of money, right? And I'm all about the low risk. So, you know, you have to find other ways that you can leverage your skill to be able to produce, you know, a high income skill. If you guys listen to Dan Locke defines a high income skill as something that can make you $10,000 a month, right? So, you know, find something that can make you $10,000 a month. Find a way that you can leverage the skill to make you $10,000 a month, however that you can do it, preferably keeping your risk low, right? Last thing I want to see you guys doing out there is, you know, fund an account with $1,000. You know, go into some broker that offers, you know, 1 to 500 leverage or something crazy like that, and over leveraging your account and you end up going down that route of blowing an account. Okay, guys, I trade on 1 to 25 leverage. Okay, my prop account is 1 to 3 leverage. Okay, between 1 to 3 leverage and 1 to 10 leverage. I don't use leverage. I don't promote using leverage. Okay, that's the worst thing that I believe that brokers can do is offer high leverage. Right, it just sucks you in as a new trader as this way like, oh, they offer high leverage, so I can trade, you know, 2 lots on $1,000 account and get rich overnight, you know, hit a home run. Guys, how many times has that worked out for you? You know, guarantee you, anybody listening to this right now that's tried that before, you've blown your account multiple times by having that mentality, right? And it's like, when will you learn? You know, hopefully you learn because you're listening to a professional, someone that actually does it for a living, telling you the right way to do it, right? Hopefully, please, please, please. I just beg that you guys take my advice and that you learn to trade the proper way. You learn to approach the markets the proper way. You respect that the Forex market is one of the, if not the most manipulated financial market in the entire world. Much more manipulated than stocks, much more manipulated than real estate, much more manipulated than any other financial market out there. And so you have to respect that, right? You have to going in knowing that the cards are against you, that the way you're going to beat the house, right, if you want to call the market the house, is by managing your emotions, disciplining your risk to reward on your trades. And that's what it breaks down to. You know, everybody always wants to know my secret, and that's my secret, guys, is just being a hard ass with my risk management and my risk to reward, right? I have people ask me all the time, well, they're like, but David, what if the trade looks so good? Like, what if everything looks good? Why can I risk 50% of my account? Can I go high leverage? Well, I mean, no, I'm not going to. You do whatever you want to do. You know, I've been down that road. I've done that. I've gone down that road. I rode that ride. I've gotten the t-shirt. Okay? I've taken the picture with the souvenir guy and gotten it plastered up on my wall. I've been down that road plenty of times. It is not a fun road to go down, okay? It's not fun. So just do it the right way, guys, all right? So let's keep going. Pound yen, not interested in trading. Dollar yen, little bit of interest in yen pairs. I think yen pairs are going to see some strength over the coming months. I've been interested for a while at finding a sell on dollar yen. I'm still not entirely convinced that this is where it wants to reverse at, but something along the lines of this. Is it going to go this high? Is it going to go this high? Is it going to just start dropping from here? I don't know, but what I'm really focused on dollar yen isn't, scalping some buys. I'm looking for whatever big move we get to the downside, this multiple 100-pip move, whether it's, immediately over starting this week over the next coming weeks. Maybe we'll go a little bit higher. Who knows? Something like this. I would need to evaluate price action a little bit more and continue to, kind of put this on my focus. But I am expecting the yen pairs, the yen to do pretty well. So that's a lot of these yen crosses. Euro yen, this is another pair that I've been watching for a while. I mean, you can see even on the daily for a couple weeks now, it's just been consolidating. Like since the beginning of this year, it really hasn't moved. It's been in this tight range, but I do believe that we're going to see something like this on Euro yen at some point. Something, right? We might not even get this until the euro, right? When we really take that long-term position on Euro USD to the downside. But I'm looking at something like this on Euro Yen as well, okay? So these are some long-term trades that you can keep your eyes peeled for, okay? AUD USD, NZD USD, I'm bullish on both of these pairs. AUD USD looks really good on the weekly to possibly, maybe find some intraday or scalp buys this week, especially if we can get above, actually that's not last week's highs. This would be yearly highs, actually. If we can get above the yearly highs, break above, like this is the second week of the year right here, then we're definitely going to see some upside on AUD USD. NZD USD, very similar situation. If we can break through, well, we actually are breaking the yearly highs as we speak, right? We actually just broke, like in the past hour. Literally this hour actually broke. Actually, we broke yearly highs. I mean, just within whatever, like past 15 minutes ago. 5 minutes ago. 5 minutes ago, we made new yearly highs on NZD USD. Okay, so these pairs I'm expecting to continue just flying as USD CAD continues to fly down as well. I mean, by the way, guys, that 129 target, oh my gosh, look at how beautiful that looks. Look at that weekly on USD CAD. Look at that. That is just like a trader's wet dream right there, guys, honestly, is seeing something like that on the weekly, seeing something like this on the daily. And the best part about it is I got in right at the top. Okay, so I'm not trying to like sound too cocky or boast or anything, but I'm just trying to say the way it is. I'm happy, guys. But this is, I'm looking, I mean, some of you guys might already be able to see it, right? But we see, boom, downside right here, right? Look at the downside right here, big downside. What we're probably going to see something like this. The downside like this. If the extension that we're in right now moves lower, oh, you know what else is also interesting too? Let me show you guys this on MetaTrader 4. Let's go here on the 4-hour, and let's take our Fibonacci expansion. Okay, this is something that I don't really talk about a ton, right? Let's take that, and then some of you guys that use Fibonacci, you might not know about the expansion tool, but it's great? Look at that expansion right to the 100 Fibonacci expansion. I love that, right? Love trading right off the 100. Like, oh yeah, this USD CAD trade. I mean, if you didn't get in this USD CAD trade, you really, I mean, don't go too hard on yourself, right? But there's a thing or two that you could definitely learn about some just simple basic price action, okay? So that's USD CAD. NZD CAD, a little interesting. I think I'm actually not too interested on NZD CAD because there's some divergence, right? I think the Canadian dollar is going to really strengthen. NZD CAD is going to strengthen as well. So we have like both pairs pulling strength, and it's like which pair is going to become stronger at this point? I think the Canadian dollar is going to do a little bit better. So just kind of a key level to watch. By the way, guys, we are starting to get towards the end. If you have any questions, start to post them in the chat so that I can answer them. I see that there's some comments off my phone right here. I'll start answering them in just a moment. AUD CAD, something else to look at. AUD CAD, major level of support was broken last week. You can actually see it on the daily. You can see it a little bit better on the 4-hour here. This little ascending consolidation pattern that we saw broke. We retested the last hour of the last couple hours on Friday, and now we're going back up to that area. And it's very reminiscent of NZD CAD, right? It's like if we actually do end up seeing like China doing well, which is going to pull the Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar up more, then we might actually see these two pairs rally. So I'm not too interested in it, but just something to kind of take note. We may, if we do see that Canadian strength continue to pull through really strong, we might see some sell opportunities on AUD CAD and NZD CAD. Euro CAD, same thing, right? All of these CAD pairs, right? You see CAD, 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 CAD. It's all the quote currency on all of these pairs. So definitely some good opportunities to potentially sell these. GBP NZD. This is an old pair. We were looking at it a couple weeks ago. This is actually this is the first trade of the year that I took a trade on. I got stopped out. Okay, I'll be transparent with that. I got stopped out. I mean, you can see it on my MyFX book. I got stopped out on GBP NZD, but you know, it did end up having a bit of a stop hunt, a little bit of a bear trap below this support level, which, you know, I think can be predicted at times. You know, this is obviously something in hindsight, you know, maybe we could have expected to happen. That this is where I see improvements as myself to become a better trader. But some of you guys may remember, right? We were looking at this inverse head and shoulders, right, at the time. Right now, when I placed the trade, we were just looking at this tiny inverse head and shoulders. It ended up getting a little bit more complex and made that consolidation stayed for a little bit longer, and we ended up seeing that it actually formed like a legitimate right shoulder. So that ended up playing out pretty nicely. Went in some nice conviction of upside on the pound, like we were expecting on some of the other pound pairs. And AUD NZD looks potentially okay for some shorts. From a technical standpoint, actually, it looks good for some shorts, right? We can see some pretty significant trend lines, right? And anytime, this is something I talk to my students too. Like, I don't put a big importance on trend lines unless they're on the really high time frames, right? You'll never see a trend line that I have on like the 1 hour, 30 minute, or 15 minute, or 5 minute, anything like that. Like, I don't believe in trend lines even that much, even like trend lines really, period. I believe trend lines are, you know, key levels that you can watch and see where like lower lows or higher highs or lower highs or higher lows are being made at. You know, in this case, we're seeing where a bunch of higher lows are being made. And then now it's like this trend line is actually now showing we're bouncing off of the underside of this trend line, whereas a lower high. But even on the daily, there's this little bit of a trend line right here marking off this lower high. So I guess what I'm trying to say is on AUD NZD, watch this level. Right, if we break through this level, well, I'm pretty sure we're going to see some downside on AUD NZD, okay? But again, in my eyes, like, guys, I'm already in so many trades right now. I'm in USD CAD. It's just skyrocketing down. I mean, I guess that's the opposite. Not skyrocketing. It's dipping down. And USD CAD, I'm expecting it to dip, okay? So I'm going to let these trades ride. I'm not really looking at extending my margin right now, but you know, there's definitely, I think I really gave out some value today, and there's definitely some opportunities within the pairs that I've covered today for you to find some trades, right? I know a lot of you guys that are in here, you know, might not be the biggest fans of swinging like I am. You might be more interested in like that boom, 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 quick hype in the market, and so you want to get in and out. So there's definitely plenty of opportunity on pairs to do so this week. You know, buys on AUD USD, NZD USD, or Euro USD, and sells on USD Swiss franc or USD CAD. You know, that's what I would be looking for if I was looking at for like some intraday trades. But guys, do me a huge favor. If you have made it to this point in the video, you've obviously been here, you're obviously this far because you've gotten some value. Please do me a huge favor. It would mean the world if you just press like. That is all I ask, you know, to give out this value to you guys every single week, week over week. Take the time out of my day, no matter where I am, every single Sunday, to get on here for you guys. That's all I ask. You know, that's the nicest thing that you could do in the world for me, is just press that like button. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Click the bell to turn on notifications. And other than that, guys, let me just answer some questions, and then we'll finish it up right here. Lots of economic news this week. William says, did your course come out? Yes, the course is finished. It is coming out this week officially. I know I've had to extend it just a little bit longer. I wanted it to come out the 15th. I kind of underestimated a couple things. I've also been having some, dealing with some just things on my end in my personal life, getting settled, spending time with my family and stuff, and haven't gotten as much time to finish editing the videos as I wanted. But this is the week for that, William. The videos are done. It's just a matter of cutting a couple seconds off the beginning of every single one, cutting a couple of seconds off of the end of each one, setting up teachables, and that's what I'm finishing out. Nick says, I would like to see 40 plus, like, smash it. David definitely deserves it. Absolutely, Nick. I think we hit over 40. Like I said, he's a Forex guru. I've never came across like David, a guy like David. He is the man. Let's kill it this week. Thank you, IUQ. Nick says, David is very transparent. No bullshit here. Thank you very much, Nick. IUQ says, I agree with you guys, Nick. Thank you. Been following me for a long time. And he's a beast. Thank you. So passionate and a true mentor, not trying to make sales. He makes his money actually trading. Well, you know, I'm always transparent with you guys, right? I do run a business, right? I do make sales off of selling a course or people joining my group, right? I'm not here to beat around the bush, right? I'd be a straight up liar if I told you guys that I don't make money from the business side, right? I created a business out of Forex to obviously make a business, but I definitely, the percentage of capital that I make in my business in relationship to the percentage of what I make on a regular basis, on a monthly, yearly basis, it only makes up a small portion of what I make. But I do run a business. But James says, boomski, absolutely, Jameson, I'm so ready to kill it this week. Brack says, first time I did that in 2015, that hurt. Absolutely, got to be very careful with that risk management. IUQ says, do you still have the lifetime membership? No, I do not have. I do not still have lifetime membership. If you would like to message me about what I have offered now, you can shoot me a message on social media. My social link is in the description. Best way to get a hold of me is probably a DM on Instagram, and me or my team will get back to you on Instagram. I'm probably the most active on there, or you can message my Facebook page, which I believe is also in the description for you guys. Stephanie says, can't wait to be a trader. Stephanie, it's a pleasure to have you on the team. I know you're one of the newest students, and I'm excited to help you thrive in the market this year. So, guys, it looks like that is that for the week. So I appreciate each and every single one of you guys. Students, I will see you guys tomorrow on the first daily live webinar of the week. Everybody else, I'll see you on next week's weekly outlook. But I appreciate you guys. Don't forget to smash that like button to help me out and get this information out to more people just like you, so we can grow this channel and grow everybody and just help everybody out. And other than that, guys, I appreciate you guys and have a great week trading. And I'll see you guys next week. Take care, guys.